King James recently took a loss in Brentwood. I mean, he had several mansions, but this is the one on Rockingham, the same street as OJ's old place. He sold the mansion for $19.6 million in an off-market deal, but back in 2015, he purchased it for $20.9 million while he's still with the Cavs. I guess he was prepared to take the loss since he did list the home back in March for $20.5 million, slightly under what he paid for it. For the record, can I just say this? I look at hundreds of houses a day, probably $1 million homes, $20 million, $75 million and up. And some of these mansions, I honestly have no idea why anyone would spend the money on this one, for instance. I just want to be honest. This house is, let's say, it's an okay house, but when you have the kind of money LeBron has, this is what you choose. Some people just have interesting taste, I guess. There are some $20 million homes in LA that will put this home to shame. I'm just saying, he's worth $850 million. I'll leave it alone, but I'm confused. You could have gotten this house in Dallas for $8 million. Don't believe me? Right here, check this out. Look, it's just as old on the outside. Both are around 9,000 square feet. Old on the outside, newer on the inside. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. This is the moment where I ask you for the type of support that doesn't cost you anything. But if you want to support financially, by all means, the CashApp info is in the description. But I'm only asking that you just click the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll be right back with a tour of LeBron James' Brentwood Mansion. I'm the real estate insider. This Brentwood Mansion was just sold by LeBron James for $19.6 million. He paid $20.9 in 2015 for it. Let's take a look at the side. This traditional estate spans over 9,400 square feet. It's located on the famous Rockingham Street where OJ once lived. It has 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and the home sits on a little over half an acre. They've added some color and some nice furnishings. Looking at the outside of the home, you would not expect to see such nice interior, I don't think. I think they definitely tried to keep some of the traditional style based on this kitchen and these white cabinets. I really like how it opens into the backyard. It's nice and clean, the pool is inviting. The master bedroom was pretty large, but the bath is a bit lacking, I gotta say that. The rest of the rooms definitely seem to have their own color and feel to them. All right, that's enough of this house. I just want to say this. LeBron should have never purchased this house. First of all, it's not a good looking house. 2, it was overpriced. So he failed if he planned for it to be an investment because he lost almost $1 million on the sale. That's all I have on this house. Let's get to the ratings. This is where I rate the home on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being horrid and 10 being amazing. My insider rating for this house is a 3. The reason it's a 3 is all the reasons I stated above. I just couldn't find much to say about it. It's a large old house on a street with a stigma attached to it. I found myself sounding like Aretha Franklin on that clip when she was asking about Taylor Swift, and all she could mention was the gown.
Alicia Keys.
Young performer, good writer, producer.
Taylor Swift.
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Anyway, now I want to hear from you. What do you rate this home on a scale from 1 to 10? Put your answer in the comments below because we've come to the end of this tour. Comment, subscribe, like, and I'll see you at the next Celebrity Home Tour tomorrow. I'm Lam, the Real Estate Insider. Peace out.